So let me get the phone. Moki Wagwa, I hope we're all doing very well. Alafia ni Bugwawa. Yoruba nation not going back. Like you just about to bossy. Not my bossy. When we are truly ready. A bossy, like Borolong. At least we've been able to capture more than what TVC. More TVC News Studio in Abuja. The criminal platform set up by Tinubu after he has deceived many people. But let me look on to Biwa. So I just can't be see sister me. If you move for me, can't look okay. Okay, we will learn. Good morning. There's a lot happening. It is entirely up to us to believe or not. But into my I believe it's getting closer. I was watching this yesterday, so let me just put this one in. Now let me change that to this one. So they might stop bringing food from the north. So it is important that the Yoruba people prepare more ground. Because ìjọ kan máa wà wọ́n ní gbóúnjẹ wá sí north sí sásálẹ̀ gbogbo ilé ẹ̀ máa jẹ́ jí àtẹ̀mí àtiwọ́. Lóhùn sókè pastor ń gbọ́ ẹ kí ló sọ ó ti freeze ni kí lẹ sọ.
And I'm saying that the people from the northern part decide that no more of their food,
No more their food.
whatever integral things to come down towards the south. And the people enter into the streets and begin to search, what is this problem all about? And in the morning, people step out of the road and begin to go in hunger, and begin to go in tribulation, begin to go in wilderness, and then it shall come to pass. But people can no longer take it. Remember, Major Prophet, I'm not an advocate of violence. I'm not an advocate of disobedience to rule of law. I am just a prophet of God that God has given the grace to see from the spiritual perspective, so I can be able to hear the voice of the Lord for those who are ready for remedy to follow the remedy. Because I'm saying,
ẹ kọ́ jí níjọ́ kan ni a kọ́ sọ pé wọ́n gbóúnjẹ wá sísàlẹ̀ ẹ máa wọn wọ́n dà pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ bí a ti sọ fún yín ṣáà wọ́n lè má gbóúnjẹ wá sàlẹ̀. Òun ni bàbá yẹn sọ only one day they might stop bringing the food to the southwest. Are we prepared? We are not prepared. Mo rí Governor Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún mo kà láàárọ̀ yìí nísìn. I've been up since over 2 hours. Ó ní máa sùn àsùnpara. Bill Gates gan tó ń fẹ́ dá GMO sílẹ̀ àwọn náà sùn olórí burúkú. Politician náà kì í sùn. Ìwọ tó ń sùn tó ń datọ́. Ó jẹ́ máa ṣọ́ oorun tó ń sùn Nàìjíríà. Àwa táwa lábroad gan à ń fi gbogbo ara sùn. A lọ fi gbogbo ara sùn. Wò ó kó tó understanding tó ń bọ̀. A rẹ̀ pé gbà sí gbòsí ni. Ṣàláìkì so mo ń gbọ́ Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún. Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún ní only the southwest can grow their food. So wọ́n ṣe mọ̀ yẹn nísìn. Farmers cannot go back to the farm. Láti ìgbà tó ti ń gba security vote kí ló fi ṣe. Ọkọ̀ ń parọ́ fún àwọn ọmọ ìlú ni. Ọ̀nà àwọn ọmọ ìlú tó wà gullible. A bá sọ fún wọn, wọ́n á ní shut up, shut up, shut up. By the end of the day, Fulani terrorists are all over our busiest and forests, and the effect of that is already manifesting on the food chain. This is avocado. I came in like it practical. I just saw it on the table. It was part of my meal yesterday. Money like is something more Jefferson. But this was part of my food in Timogelano. Now, imagine that in the UK, where I'm living, somewhere around there in this beautiful world, or somewhere in America, Canada, even Turkey, even any Asian country, imagine that there's a disruption of terrorists. Good morning. Imagine that pen me. At certain produce pencil in Nigeria. Can produce pencil about con cheap or lot to China. Imagine that terrorist is operating in America, and they have 55 states, from what I'm told. Imagine in UK, UK is divided to 3: England, Scotland, Wales. Imagine that in one of these part of the world, there's a disruption of food network because of insecurity. My question is, are we at war? 50 states, Eshegoni, for the update. So imagine 50 states in America. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. 50 states in America. Think about it. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní America, tẹ́ ń sọ pé kó máa pray fún Nàìjíríà ni mo bá sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò mí báyìí. Ṣé mo sọ fún yín pé àwọn ọmọ onítìrì máa ń wo program mi? Program tá a ṣe lánàá, nìyá kan bá wá síbẹ̀ ló comment rẹpẹtẹ. Àti gba Yorùbá nation, ìwọ àti bàbá Akíntóyè, get out. Àti ní country tiwa, ó lè jẹ́ America ló wà o, ìyá wèrè, àwọn ìyá òfò. Ó jókòó sí America, ó náà ti gba country, àwọn ìyá olórí burúkú. They keep coming back to the page. Wọ́n wà lábẹ́ program báyìí, àwọn olòṣì, àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n òfò, wọ́n pọ̀ l'Amẹ́ríkà lọ́dọ̀ yín níbẹ̀, ìyá mi Tómínọ́lá Agnes, àwọn tó tẹ̀lé onítìrì. Tẹ́ bá rí bó ṣe comment rẹpẹtẹ sórí post tí mo ṣe lánàá, video tí mo ṣe. Video yẹn ti wọ 4,000 view. Let's come back here. Imagine that these avocados, there's a farmer somewhere in the north of England, the north, because in the London here, nílẹ̀ tá lè fi máa gbin avocados. Even though avocado yìí náà wọ́n import ẹ̀ wọlé ni. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ ríṣu tó ń import wá láti Ghana. Àmọ́ ibo tẹ́ ń bá mi jà lórí Twitter. Wọ́n ní iṣu yẹn látọ̀dọ̀ wọn ló ti wá. Mo ní, but as far as I'm concerned, it's coming from Ghana. I know that it's coming from Nigeria, but what is so Nigeria yam, wọ́n ti pè ní Ghana yam, torí pé ní country. Gbogbo iṣu tó ń jẹ ní ìlú yìí, pálí tó fi ń gbé wá, Ghana yam ló máa ń pè. Kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria yam. Máa tán rẹ̀. If terrorist is operating within 50 states of America, Canada, UK, Belgium, Australia, wherever they're producing large quantity of agricultural produce that people need to consume on a daily basis, because food is very, very important. Eshegon Babami Sonodu, shout out for you all the way. What do you call avocado? It's same thing, it's avocado. It's called avocado. Imagine that terrorists operating in Australia, where my viewer is watching me, Ian Watt. What do you think your government would do or should be doing? But many Nigerians are telling me to shut up, that the food security is not a threat to humanity. And I'm a bit lost. I'm a bit confused. Each time I say that Nigeria is at war, number one is food security. Because the day you cannot provide adequate food for your citizen, that is no longer a government. That government needs to shut down as quickly as possible. According to Mr. Folari Adesanya, food is part of security. But many Nigerians are waiting for Pastor Adeboye to continue to pray for farmers. Hey, in Jesus' name. And please, I don't have anything against Pastor Adeboye. Thank you so much. Mr. Rilwan is watching me all the way from Australia. Australia is right inside the afternoon because they are far ahead of us in terms of time. Do you understand what I'm talking about this morning? Or you are still one of those adamant about Nigeria, but you just want to watch this program and then pray because Pastor Adeboye and Yadura and Genesis and all the pastors, Paula Farasi, continue to pray for our farmers. Hey, in Jesus' name. Watching me from Seattle. I'll be in America very soon. I don't know how soon. So I don't have anything against all your leaders that are praying for you. But can you be praying for farmers when terrorists are holding AK-47 and holding people to ransom from getting into the farm? We're not talking about a mechanized farming here in Nigeria. We're talking about a very hard working farmers that are using their hands rather than the machinery that can do it faster, like around the globe. How then do you provide food for your citizen? So when some of you are complaining, hey, what you want, it is insecurity. It's just under to 6 in London. This program is just a very short one. You understand, Kwatimonso? Many of you will die because there is a now food shortage in Nigeria. Many of you will die. There's no doubt about it. Because right now, Nigeria is now being compared with Somalia, according to the United Nations, on food insecurity. You might have to start asking the UN. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunadu, for the start. The absence of a physical war does not mean peace. Many of you do not understand that there's a food jihad going on in Nigeria right now. But how come the same food jihad is not happening in America, in the 50 states where they are producing all kinds of different crops? How come the same thing is not happening in Ecuador and around those countries where some produce are coming in here? Why is it that Nigeria, that is meant to be the beacon of Africa, we are now having food shortage to feed 200 million people on a daily basis? Is there an agenda? Or should we just say we need to pray more to God by asking Baba Adeboye to go into, thank you so much, watching all the way from Guinea-Bissau, Mr. Mohammed Taiwo. Nigerians are dying of food security, but I've been told to shut up. That Baba Adeboye is already praying for us. Paul Adefaras is praying for us. Oh, I forgot about Tunde Bakari. I've met him once in London. They are all praying to God, but this other pastor is just telling us that from the month of October, it says what God is telling him is that he can see from the north to the south, there will be a shutdown of food security. Food will become more expensive. According to Cruz official, is reminding us that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it, but we said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, according to us, was abusing Yoruba people and our leaders and our elders, and he should shut up. Mazi, stop disturbing Yoruba land. We don't want the breakup of Nigeria. If you guys want to go, go and don't disturb us. But we now realize that we might not agree with everything the Biafra of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the leader, but we now have the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. You don't have to agree with Simon Ekpa. You're crazy if you don't agree with him. Your Prime Minister in UK is just as older, or I am older than him. Food security. Many Nigerians will die. It's not about in Jesus' name. Many of you are already dying quietly, silently, because you do not have enough to feed yourself or your family. There will not be peace in Nigeria because of the food security. I am not talking about Yoruba nation now, okay? I am just talking about the food security alone will allow Nigeria to explode because you are already at war. But the problem is you are waiting for the same terrorist military that dress in this camouflage, that dress in this kind of camouflage, and then use that to tell you that we can defend the territorial ground of Nigeria so that farmers can go back to farm. But we now know that they are all already infiltrated. This week that just passed, 120,000. I am not saying 120. 120,000 ex-Boko Haram have been given pardon by President Bola Tinubu so that they can kill many of us more as they go back into the community. I posted a video yesterday that was sent to me by a Yoruba man that was doing mining in Niger State. A Yoruba, we are already at war. This man has invested millions of naira in a business that I believe if you have the license for mining, you should not have any problem. You pay the government the tax. He has 65 workers in Niger State, a Yoruba man. He's crying now. You know why? He has now had to vacate that particular. Thank you so much. Uche Austin said, this is not about prayer. We are dying of hunger in this country. But many people are waiting for all these, our Afa, Babalawo, and all our religious scholars to continue to pray that God will protect Nigerians from insecurity. No, don't bring God to it. We need Tinubu now to wake his ass up as quickly as possible. Tabani lati fun injection ni abe ekun ka fun injection. Tinubu, wake up and put adequate security, because right now many Nigerians are dying because you can no longer give security across the 36 states, including FCT, where Wike is the FCT minister. Let's go back to the Yoruba man. The man reached out to me and said, Mr. Koiki, I am already lost everything, but that is not the problem. But tell your people, our people, Atiwanogun already. He is now moving all his machineries out. He needs nothing less than 24 military to move with him each time they're going back to the site to bring out some of his machineries and equipment worth millions of naira. Ma pray from US for Nigeria. Oreo Berara. Ma pray from UK for Nigeria. You are crazy. This is a Yoruba man that have invested all his life in the mining sector in Niger State. They have now had to evacuate that site. I will not give you too much details of the location for his own security because they are still moving things out. And trust me, terrorists are now watching all our program. We saw them on the TikTok. We have seen them now uploading videos and telling us that they are getting closer. But the food security is the discussion this morning. In just under half an hour, I will end this program, or less than that. I've already done 18 minutes. I am not here sitting the whole day. Agree with me is your problem. But remember that Tinubu, Eyomo Yoruba, Otiniko fun 120,000 Boko Haram. Pardon. Do you know the meaning of pardon? Presidential pardon. Forgive them, allow them to go back into the society, even give them money, food. If they want to marry, oh, why not tell their governors that they can marry? We saw a woman traveling. The same man to send the video, Yesimi, is the same man that I'm telling you is from Niger State, operating his mining business. He's now moving back towards the south. I told you 3 years ago, move some of your stuff back. Any Koiki Shebema declare Yoruba nation, declare Yoruba nation, okay, but at least your life is secured. We are not talking about making things up. I am here. I am 3,000 miles away from you. But in every part of Nigeria, information gets to this desk. And I'll make use of the one I want you to know, and the one that we believe you should not know, we will keep it to ourselves and work with it. But Niger State is gone, is no longer in control of the federal government of Nigeria. Take that to the bank if you can get a loan out of it. Niger State is completely out of Nigeria as I speak to you right now. Ma so they play. But I want to come with evidence shown to me with millions of products of equipment that they are still trying to get out of that particular local government in Niger State is proving difficult, even with 24 security men heavily harmed that he has to pay to get into that site and start moving equipment out. Is proving very difficult for this Yoruba man. But you are there now expecting a miracle when those on the ground are now crying that there is a food shortage in Nigeria. There is now what I call the insecurity of food. We are already at war at Iwanogun. But a lot of you think that war is about just shooting guns. We are already at even Third World War. At Iwanogun, Third World War. Each war, from what we have learned about history of World War I, World War II, the World War III is a different game entirely. We can see the energy being charged by some of these countries. We have now been able to feel that nuclear warfare is going on. We have seen Russia moving their satanic nuclear ballistic weapon closer to America, which is about less than a few miles in Cuba. Do you know that the security intelligence in UK spotted that submarine traveling past towards Scotland? It was detected. Africa will be used as the battleground. More firepower is going into Burkina Faso from Russia. GMO is being used by Bill Gates to tell us that we can grow food faster and consume, and we probably die along the line. If you wait longer, we would all be consumed faster. Can all this be stopped? Subject to if you are truly ready to be free. But I don't see many of us want to be free. We have converted the freedom talk to all kind of manners of different discussion because we are thinking that it will not happen. It would happen if we all continue to sleep. But we will be here to remind you that we will continue to say, let us not sleep completely with our two eyes closed. World War III is a war of machinery for the West, and Africa will be the battleground for the countries depending on the West. Our dependence on the West is too much, and we will all be affected. But I can understand. Koiki, but what can we do? We are weak. We are tired. We don't have the means to fight back. We all have the means to fight back. It all depends on what you mean that you don't have the means. 3.5 years ago, a lot of you thought I was the one bringing the war. But the war has now get closer to you with food security alone. How do we know if there's a food shortage in the country? Ọ̀nà wo ni wọ́n máa fi mọ̀ pé ṣé èèyàn lẹ́yìn Yorùbá máa ń pè àbí that there's famine, pé ebi ti wọ̀lú? How do we know that? Is it just by the cost of food price in the market? Or those your neighbors that you probably didn't look properly, but they are losing weight, not because they are on diet. Look at the children around you on a daily basis when you go out and see if they are already or getting close to malnutrition. Those that are working in the nursing, hospital, doctors understand what I'm talking about. I'm even being told now that Sanwo-Olu is financing Niger State mechanized farming tools. I can tell you that Niger State is gone from the intelligence getting to me. Don't expect your governors to tell you that. But most of them know that their state is no longer secured. That is why they spend more time in Abuja than their state. Most of your governors, probably apart from Lagos, but those in the north, most of them sleep in Abuja overnight. Imagine the governor of the state spend more of time in Abuja compared to their state. Yes, you will see them in their state in the morning. They are not sleeping in that state in the night. So, as I have 4 minutes to end this program, food security, we are already at war. I am not the one bringing the war. FOOD is now being used to fight the new war between us and them. Tell your governors to put adequate security back in the farm so that at least people can return back gradually, but in a very articulated, speedily back farm, and we can start planting for the next 2 years and start storing enough in the silos to keep. As things goes, nobody knows the end of what might happen. I don't know. I am not a dreamer. I am just a journalist. But looking at the current situation, Tinubu has 3 years to go. Yoruba land must have enough food within the next 3 years. At least. Nobody knows what happened after Tinubu 2027. Is it going to come back? We don't know. It might not come back. We don't know. This is all subject to prediction, analysis. Looking at things as it stands right now, there is war in Nigeria as we speak right now, but that war is called food security. It is one of the most dangerous war to be used on humanity, but it is being used on the Yoruba people and as many other Nigerians as well, so that we are not being biased. We have talked about this continuously. This is one of the reasons why Oloyegbowo stood out and said it cannot continue, that farmers cannot return back to farm because they are all scared. Many farmers have left the farm, but I'm asking again, the world that you live is different from the one that we are living. Farmers are protected with adequate irrigation, adequate security, so that they can produce enough for me to consume and the rest of the global world. But in Africa, they've converted it now into a jihadist ground that is making life difficult for most of our farmers. I am being honest with us. We are already at war. Food war, security. You might be asking the question before I go, where is all our security? You can check with Musa, the terrorists that are there thinking that they will solve the problem. None of them have any intention to fix the insecurity right now. Tinubu is struggling. There is now a power tussle. I told you all, we saw the news filtering out yesterday. Sultan of Sokoto wants to be removed. That will create more war. They've told Tinubu, don't dare that, go next to that area. It is all coded. I don't know who is behind trying to remove Sultan of Sokoto. I don't know what the agenda is. I don't have the information. But after analyzing what Shaitima, your vice president, said yesterday, is a big signal of what I have told you in the last 3 years, that Sultan of Sokoto controls Nigeria on behalf of the British and the Arab countries. So whoever is trying to remove him, you can imagine what could be next. Have a very good morning, and I'll let you to ponder on that for the day. Tinubu, you have now been told and warned, don't go there to Sultan of Sokoto. Have a very good morning. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Today's 25th, right? Yeah. Tuesday, June 2024. It's just for record purpose. We'll catch up again some other time. Have a very good morning. Bye for now.